What if being alone, the thing you're avoiding, is actually the gateway to your next level of wealth, clarity and power? Every visionary, every millionaire, every creative genius has one habit in common. And it's not what you think. It's solitude. They told you success was about hustle, but what if the real power is in your silence? If you're constantly surrounded by people, noise and opinions, no wonder you can't hear your own abundance calling. They told you solitude was lonely. That silence was a void. That alone meant unloved. But what if they were wrong? What if solitude isn't a prison, but a portal, not an exile, but an initiation? Because when the world grows loud and the noise outside drowns the whisper within, it's in solitude, sweet, sacred solitude, that we finally remember who we are. So today we're not running from being alone, we're running toward it, because hidden in the quiet is a secret, and that secret is power. In this video, we'll help you understand the true value of solitude. We'll explain how you can use it to supercharge your happiness, peace and prosperity. Before we go any further, if you resonate with this content, please like this video and subscribe to the Wisdom Download channel. And leave a comment affirming that you're ready to use your solitude to achieve deeper joy and abundance. They taught us that happiness lives in crowds, in conversations, in constant connection. They told us success is a team sport, that to thrive, you must stay surrounded. But here's the truth. You can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone, because real connection starts within. And if you don't know your own voice, you'll confuse everyone else's noise for your truth. Solitude isn't loneliness. Loneliness is disconnection. Solitude is reconnection. Greatness isn't born in noise, it's forged in silence. Steve Jobs didn't birth innovation in a brainstorm room. He walked for hours alone. Oprah's greatest insights came during moments of stillness. When you sit with yourself, when you breathe with yourself, when you face the mirror without distraction, you find the unedited version of your genius. Solitude is not isolation. No, it's incubation, the place where vision is formed, where clarity arrives without clutter, where creativity stretches its wings uninterrupted by the world's demands. Prosperity isn't just about making money, it's about living in alignment with your true self, your gifts, your purpose, your natural energy. But when you're constantly surrounded by noise, social media, family demands, work pressure, it's easy to lose the sound of your own voice. Solitude gives you the chance to reset, to ask, what do I actually want, instead of chasing what everyone else thinks you should want. In silence, your deepest desires begin to speak, and they're often different from what you've been told. Maybe your path to prosperity doesn't look like a 9-to-5 or endless hustle. Maybe it looks like creativity, service, invention, or simply presence. Want to know what's blocking your prosperity? Spend some time alone, long enough for your subconscious to start talking. In solitude, all the patterns you've been suppressing rise to the surface. The fears, the scarcity beliefs, the wounds. It's uncomfortable, but it's powerful. When you can witness those beliefs without distraction, you can begin to change them. And when you change the inside, the outside follows. Every visionary had one thing in common. They honored solitude, not just as a break, but as a source, because in silence imagination expands, ideas flourish, innovation emerges. Prosperity isn't just about working harder, It's about thinking differently. And solitude gives your mind the freedom to wander and create. Here's your first practical tip. Schedule at least 1 hour a week for intentional solitude. No phone, no music, just you, a journal, and your thoughts. Use that time to brainstorm ideas, reflect, or simply breathe. Money doesn't come from chasing. It comes from magnetism. And you can't be magnetic if you don't know your own frequency. Solitude tunes you in to your instincts, your intuition, your deepest desires. When you sit in silence long enough, you start to hear the difference between ego and essence. You learn what you truly want, not what you were programmed to pursue. And when you act from alignment, the universe responds. Clients appear, ideas land, opportunities flow. Real abundance starts inside, as a feeling, a frequency, a mindset. When you use solitude to cultivate inner peace, gratitude, and self-trust, you begin to radiate an energy that magnetizes opportunity. You no longer chase, you attract, because your energy becomes a match for wealth, love, and expansion. Solitude allows you to feel abundant before the money arrives, and that shift in energy is often what causes it to arrive. Now you're ready for practical tip number 2. Each morning ask yourself, what would abundance look like today if I followed what feels right? Let your intuition, not just your calendar, guide your actions. We chase happiness like it's hiding somewhere far. But happiness isn't a destination. It's a frequency, and you can't hear it when you're overloaded. Solitude is the moment you pause the world so your joy can catch up to you. It's where you realize that peace isn't passive, it's potent. It's where you remember that your worth doesn't live in other people's approval. It lives in your breath, in your being, in your becoming. People-pleasing, overcommitting, and emotional exhaustion are silent killers of success. You can't build prosperity if you're always running on empty. Solitude is where you refill your cup. It's where you get to be with yourself without performance, without compromise, without masks. When you give yourself permission to be alone, not because you're isolating, but because you're reconnecting, you reclaim the energy you've been leaking to the world. Here's your third practical tip. Try the silent sunrise practice. Wake up 30 minutes before the world, go outside or sit by a window and do nothing. Just observe. Let gratitude rise naturally. External success follows inner strength, and inner strength is cultivated in solitude. When you no longer fear your own company, you stop chasing relationships that drain you. You stop making decisions from insecurity. You start building from a place of deep-rooted power. Solitude teaches you how to self-source, how to fill your own cup so you never beg another to fill it for you. And this is where prosperity begins. Ever made a decision you later regretted because you rushed, reacted, or followed someone else's advice? Solitude gives you space to decide from your center. It helps you move from reaction to response, from external influence to internal guidance. When you make decisions from solitude, they tend to be clearer, cleaner, and more aligned with your highest good. And they often lead to more prosperity. It's time for practical tip number 4. Create a sacred solo ritual once a week. Take yourself on a solo date. Whether it's a nature walk, solo dinner, or reading retreat, learn to enjoy your own presence. Your higher self doesn't shout, it whispers. And to hear it, you must turn down the volume on everything else. Social media, opinions, urgency, obligation. Because when it's quiet enough, you'll start to hear something magical. The sound of your soul remembering what it came here to do. Solitude is not withdrawal, it's return. Return to truth. Return to clarity. Return to the powerful being you've always been. You're not powerless. You're not stuck. You're not broken. But when you're constantly surrounded by stimulation, it's easy to forget how powerful you are. Solitude brings you back to yourself, to your essence, to your inner knowing that says, I've got this. I can create what I want. I am the source of my abundance. It's from this place of deep self-connection that true, lasting prosperity is born. Here's your fifth and final practical tip. Go on a 24-hour digital detox once a month. Use the time to reflect, reset, and realign with what truly matters. Solitude is not about isolation, it's about intimacy. With your soul, your purpose, your truth. It's not about withdrawing from life, but re-entering it from a place of clarity and power. So if you've been spinning in circles, if you've been chasing success but feeling disconnected, if you've been giving and giving with little return, try giving yourself the gift of solitude. You might just discover that everything you've been looking for, wealth, peace, purpose, power, has been inside you all along. You just needed the quiet to hear it. Solitude isn't punishment, it's preparation for the success that's coming, for the clarity you're craving, for the abundance you're worthy of. So next time you find yourself alone, don't run, don't numb, sit, breathe. Listen, because in that silence, you won't just find peace, you'll find power, and in that power, you'll remember you were never alone. You were always becoming. Like this video if it resonated with your soul. Share it with someone ready to rise, and subscribe for more wisdom that empowers your path to happiness, success, and abundance.